morning, welcome to part 13 of my Around the Kent Coast Cycling Challenge. It's really good that you can join me again on such a lovely day. It is a little bit cloudy, we are expecting a bit of rain later, but hopefully I'm going to persevere through. Today is Good Friday, which means that I've got a bit of extra time to cycle quite a few miles today, which is really good. So hopefully you'll join me for the entire route to see all the interesting and fascinating stuff that we can find along the way. So we are now getting a bit of rain, but I will persevere. So let's just have a quick chat about the route we're going to take today. So we're going to start off at the Riverside Park in Gillingham. It's kind of where we left off last week, and we did speak about that last week and looked at the wildlife there. So this week we'll be heading east along the River Medway. It's a lot of kind of creeks and marshiness as we go along, and we're heading towards the Isle of Sheppy Bridge. There's a lot to see on the route. I think we go through Upnor and Lower Halstow, so it's all very interesting. Hopefully you'll join me for the entire route. It's going to be a great episode. So we found quite a nice spot here at Sandgate Creek. It is actually starting to rain, but I will persevere. So Sandgate Creek is just past Lower Halstead. Now it's actually made famous last year by Hollywood, in fact. They made a feature film about Wonder Woman. I'm sure you've all heard of Wonder Woman, but there was kind of a recent blockbuster movie about it. And part of the story was that she was kind of delivered to the front line in World War I in Belgium as part of the Belgium River Creeks, and it was actually filmed here on the kind of estuary of the Medway, which was quite good for us. I'm not sure why they didn't actually film it in Belgium, but I guess we're more like the World War I kind of creeks than Belgium is at the moment. But yes, very interesting fact. Let's carry on around the river. So we found this really nice spot on the Chetney Marshes, which is to the southwest of the Isle of Sheppy. I'm just going to pan around. You may see our final destination today behind us, which is the Sheppy Bridge in the distance. So it's really nice here. This is actually a public byway we came along. Before coming along here, you actually have to ring a number on a gate to ask permission to come along. But quite luckily I bumped into the ranger as I was coming up to the gate, who gave me permission to come along here. So it's really nice. He said he didn't have his phone on him, so I doubt a lot of other people would come along here today. So it's quite desolate. There is a lot of nesting birds and a lot of wildlife along here. There's the silos behind me, which I'm allowed to cycle up to. And as you can pan around, there's a few cattle grazing. It's all very nice. Right, let's carry on around the river. So, as we go up the River Medway, it's worth mentioning the two island forts that are out in the river. Fort Hoo and Fort Darnet are positioned to guard against any enemy ships heading upriver towards the Medway towns, as you can see here on this map. Let's take a closer look at the two forts. So Fort Hoo and Fort Darnet in the Medway Estuary were built on the recommendation of a Royal Commission in 1859. The commission was appointed because of the political situation in Europe in the late 1850s and the fear that England would be invaded by ships coming up the River Thames or the Medway. Building started on the islands in 1870 and finished in 1872. Originally the forts were designed with 2 tiers of guns mounted in a circle with a boon strung between them, but due to many problems with subsidence and after extensive cost overruns, the forts were completed in 1872 with only 1 tier, 11 guns and no boom. The forts were originally designed for a garrison of up to 100 men each. The forts were never used in anger and were disarmed before the First World War. In the Second World War, the fort was used as observation posts with platforms and pillboxes built on the top. The fort is still in fair condition, however the magazine level seems to have been deliberately flooded to minimise access and vandalism. The island can be freely visited by boat, though the landing is very muddy. Right, that's enough looking at the island forts. Let's carry on up the river. The Isle of Sheppey is divided from the mainland of Kent by the Swale, which comes off the River Medway on the west side and goes out to the North Sea on the east. Although at first sight it may not look like it, the Swale is a real haven for wildlife. It forms both a natural nature reserve and a special protection area. The eelgrass, raised knotgrass, white sea kale, glasswort and golden sapphire support rare and uncommon migrant butterflies and moths, including the Essex emerald, the grey lackey, the cloud yellow butterfly and rare hawk moths. Since 1968 it has also been a site of special scientific interest. Birds you may also see in the area include an avocat, a marsh harrier, a Mediterranean gull, a bar-tailed godwit and a hen harrier. So here we are, we finally made it to the Isle of Sheppey. Been a really nice cycle today. I'm just going to pan around. We're taking a bit of a break and getting a bit of shelter under the Sheppey Crossing, which is just behind me. We didn't actually cycle across the Sheppey Crossing because cycles aren't actually able to go across. It's probably a bit windy if you tried. We cycle across the old bridge, which is the King's Ferry Crossing, which is just behind me, which actually does kind of go up and down to let boats through. It's very interesting. I think the Sheppey Crossing was built in 2006, so it's not that old. I must say I'm not a fan of the design. I think it just looks like a road on stilts to me. There doesn't seem to be any passion put into the building of it, but I don't know what you think, but that's my personal opinion. Anyway, let's carry on around the Isle of Sheppey. Thanks for joining me on part 13 of my Around the Kent Coast cycling challenge. It's been very good cycling along the River Medway. We are now on the Isle of Sheppey, so we'll be going around that in part 14. It'll be very exciting. Hope you join me then.